This is an EMF Audio Banhammer 15 V2 prototype, and it hasn't seen any power at all, and I'm gonna blow it up. The Dual 2 version, I did some testing on, and I got some results that weren't what I wanted. And despite what experts on the internet say, no, we don't just pick something from a catalog, have it show up in no time and throw our logo on it and whatever. We actually do develop these products by our own design and do testing and make sure that it's exactly how it's supposed to be before it goes out to customers. So the D2 wasn't exactly what I wanted, so a change has to be made, but it's also going to be made on the D1. So it doesn't matter that this hasn't ever been played. I'm gonna blow it up. So this is our test bed, as you may have expected, and I'm gonna do some burp testing on it. I've got our 5500 AF that we'll be using, which quite frankly on a burp is not going to make enough power to blow this thing up. So we're just going to have to hold it on power until it goes. So this is the box. I'm going to do some lower volume testing just to find the frequency. I'm going to let it rip because, again, you don't have to sit here and break it in and all this, that, and the other. I have an idea of where the frequency should be. I'm just going to make sure what the peak actually is. Try some wide open burps. We'll see how much power it is. You'll see that. And then we'll just leave it on some power. See how long it takes it. And let's get started. And here it is set up. You might notice I changed the baffle. Originally, this box was for an 18, which is that baffle. And then I had a 15 cutout to go on top of that, which was the old one, which is a 14-inch cutout. And this is 14 1/4. I only had 1/2-inch MDF laying around. Really the only sheet I had most of anything laying around. So it is now 2 layers of 1/2-inch. They're not glued together or anything. Everything's just screwed down. So I have inch-thick MDF layered baffle. Here's our 5500. I will be testing with the window open so I can hear what's happening. I'm going to try not to just destroy anything and everything, just the sub. And when you have a dead short on a sub, sometimes it can do weird things. So we're going to make sure that we don't have any larger problems. I've already found the peak frequency by doing very low testing, and that's not necessarily accurate. Sometimes you do have to go quite a bit more power, but it is in the neighborhood, so I might try higher power testing here. But just for around 100 watts, that's what we get. So 103 watts, 140.4. I'm going to go up. I may just try a couple power levels just to see what it does in between here. I guess I'll do 1,000, 2,000, and then just whatever power it makes. So let's give that a whirl. So there you go, 1,000 watts. It gained theoretically what it should. Went from a 140 to a 150 with 10 times the power. So again, shy of 3 dB, just barely. Again, proving that theory doesn't always translate for doubling power to gain exactly 3 dB. But there you go, 52.8 on 2,000 watts. So the next one is going to be full potato. Everything that it's got, whatever it's going to get from this 5500. Our impedance was 1.1 ohms, so we're not actually gaining a whole lot of impedance. It is wired to 0.4 at this amp. So there you go. At 1.0 ohms, 5,926 watts out of our 5,500 watt rated amp. At 56.1. All right, we're gonna try one more burp at this frequency, Then we're going to try a couple other frequencies, and then we're going to go until it dies. All right, so that's about all we've got there. I'm gonna try one frequency up, no charge time. I am just on a 25 amp charger. That's not it, so we'll go down a frequency. That's not it either. Okay, so I'm going to run this in real time so you can see the actual power, actual SPL. As it's running, I've had to start the car. It is idling, so I'm only going to make maybe 130 amps. So it's not going to maintain that high of power for that long. I've got 8 banks of super caps, not a ton of capacity, great delivering power in short bursts, but not for this kind of thing. So we're going to go until the sub smokes, completely cuts out, whatever. But you're going to see it in real time. So here we go. There is going to be a pause in the track about, I think it's every 15 seconds. So it'll cut off, come back on. For how fast this is dropping, I'm going to try to get the engine to rev so I can actually continue to make some power here. All right, we've got some revs. Let's fire it back up. It stopped, so there you go. That's how long we're holding that power, just on a tone. And there you have it. Did it take all the power you thought it should, or didn't it? Because one of the things that in our testing earlier decided it wasn't going to take as much power as I wanted it to. You saw it was higher than rated power, and that's also not dynamic. That's on a tone. That is a constant power. And music is dynamic, so it'll actually take even more than that playing music. Now, additionally, every 15 seconds when it would have that little bit where it'd stop, that's actually the worst possible thing you can do for cooling. It's cooling when the sub is moving, so it's getting really hot and then stopping. It's building heat, and in that short period of time, that 1 to 2 seconds, it can actually cook the coil. You can go from everything's playing fine to you let it rest, and then coil sits there getting really, really hot, building up heat in the gap, and then kills the coil. It's just enough to do it. So that's another reason why you shouldn't go from just completely wide open to off. Bad idea. It'll kill subs doing that. So there you have it on this guy. We are making some changes. It will end up taking a little bit more power in the end anyway. But how about those numbers? Additionally, what do you think about this gasket? Instead of doing a rubber gasket, doing the metal, I thought about doing that just as an extra thing. One, so you could take this off and customize it if you wanted to. Thought about putting the logo in it. But if you're inverting, you'd have to put your own gasket. There's a little notch here. I might do something different here with this. Or would you rather have the rubber gasket? Comment that below if you'd rather have the rubber gasket back instead of this metal one, so you don't have to put a gasket on the bottom or up here. And we're going to have some ghost testing coming very, very soon.